Yo, what's going on, guys? My name is Kevin, and in today's video I want to talk about my thoughts and feelings about my first bulk. Now, for the past year and a half to 2 years I've been bulking, and I decided that it's finally time to cut again. So I'm actually dieting for the summer, and then I'm gonna go back to bulking after the summer is completed. So I just wanted to make a video about how I feel about my first bulk. Now, initially going into the bulk, it was pretty easy, but then when I realized that I slowly have to add more and more food, it started to become very difficult to not only eat healthy, but also eat a ton of food in order to complete my bulk. I didn't realize how difficult this was gonna be, and also how time consuming it was gonna be constantly eating meals every day.
However,
I will mention that it was very fun being able to just eat a lot of food in comparison to actually dieting. And another really good thing about bulking is that you're gonna have a lot of energy to spare. So when I was bulking, I had a lot of energy, I didn't have to sleep as much, and I still felt very energetic, and I was ready to get on with my day, and I can handle many tasks all at once simultaneously without any effort. Now that I'm actually cutting, it feels like I could sleep 20 hours a day, and even that isn't enough. And my energy levels are a lot lower, and I feel a little bit more lethargic and kind of that I just want to sit around and do nothing, which kind of sucks. But at the same time, when I was bulking, I also felt lazy in a different way because I felt kind of heavy and clunky, and I kept eating food, so obviously that also made me a little bit lazy as well. And it made me so lazy, in fact, to the point where I actually stopped counting my calories and my macros completely. Now, I still try to eat relatively healthy and eat the similar meals that I've always ate, but I just really couldn't care about counting. And as long as I was gaining weight, I was okay with that. Now, you probably shouldn't do this. You don't have to necessarily count your calories or your macros to succeed, but you should have a rough idea of what you're doing, because you only need a little bit of a surplus so that you can actually gain muscle and not gain too much fat. Otherwise, if you're gonna have a really big surplus, a lot of it is gonna go into unwanted fat. Now that I'm dieting, I actually do count my calories and my macros, and it's going pretty good, and I've already seen results in the few weeks that I've been dieting. To me, not eating a lot of food isn't really a big problem, but being low on energy and your overall mood is kind of like wishy-washy, that's the part that really sucks for me personally. So far, my weights haven't really differed from bulking to cutting, so I haven't really dropped weight in terms of how much I actually lift at the gym, which is a good thing. I don't know if this will continue to be like this, but regardless, whether you're cutting or bulking, you want to make sure you're pushing yourself at the gym as much as you can, because this way, if you're bulking, you can actually gain muscle, and if you're cutting, you can maintain that muscle and not lose it while you're losing fat. I also feel like I had a lot more freedom when I was bulking, but this isn't necessarily a good thing, because I'm a very technical and scientific and calculated person, so that's why in that sense I like cutting more, because I'm more motivated to actually track what I eat, and I know exactly what I'm eating, and the probability that I get the results that I actually want is a lot more higher when I'm cutting than when I'm bulking. And it actually takes a lot more time to gain muscle than it does to actually lose fat. So I'm a lot more motivated when I'm cutting, and when I'm bulking, I'm not as motivated because it takes a long time to see the results. But again, you want to enjoy the journey, as cliche as it sounds, and you want to keep going, because regardless, you're eventually going to get to that point, whether it takes longer or shorter. My mindset when I'm bulking and cutting is actually very different as well, because I feel a lot more disciplined when I'm actually cutting, and when I'm bulking, I feel like in my brain, I think like, oh, I'm bulking, so I have the excuse to eat whatever I want and all this stuff, because regardless, I have to gain weight, and that's just not a good mindset to have. And you need to have the discipline to stay focused, even though you're bulking and even though you have all this freedom, because with all that power comes a lot more responsibility. Now, I'm not saying you have to eat rabbit food, obviously, but you still want to stay focused and make sure that you're on the right track while making minimal mistakes. The bulk overall was very fun though, because again, like I said, I had a lot more energy and my lifting progress was going up exponentially. I mean, I was lifting more weight than I've ever lifted in my life, especially for my weight. And so in that sense, it was really fun. Being at the gym didn't even feel like being at the gym. It was literally so fun. It almost felt like I was at my own playground. Also, what I will say is that if you are actually trying to gain weight and you are bulking, take full advantage of that in the gym and just in your life in general, because you're gonna have this surplus of energy and you're gonna have to dump that somewhere. Obviously, the gym is probably gonna be one of those, but you could also dump that into your schooling or your career or any hobbies you have. And if you're cutting, I would say take that time to fully focus on you. And I'm gonna be honest, you're probably gonna have to push back on the fun and the fun activities and the fun eating at least a little bit more since you're actually cutting. And I would say take this time to focus on yourself. Probably start meditating if you've never done it. Maybe start journaling, or even get into any hobbies that you like or you think you might like. Another little detail that I actually noticed is that when you're bulking, even foods that you really like can start to become very bland since you're eating it a lot and you're just eating a lot of food in general. Whereas when you're cutting, you kind of appreciate that food more. Like the diet just really humbles you. So a lot of foods start to taste really good, which is a big plus if you're dieting. But yeah, guys, I think that's gonna do it for this video. I don't really have much else to say, but the bulk was very fun. But all in all, I felt very unmotivated. I felt like I lacked discipline when I was bulking. But I don't know. I just feel like dieting for me is a lot more easier, and I reap more benefits outside of just my physical body when it comes to dieting. So all in all, I'm just gonna say I like dieting more, even though it kind of sucks more. But yeah, if you guys enjoyed, make sure to like, comment, and subscribe, and I'm out. Peace!